Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome back to the Fortem Training podcast, episode number 6, with me, head coach Kieran Douglas Jones. Today's topic, actually, before we get into that, hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. Really enjoying making it. This one's coming up straight after episode 5, rolling on, grabbing hold of this one and running with it, seeing what we can do. Today's topic, why training is about much more than just getting a good workout. This is something that I've outlined in sort of a short video that has gone out to sort of our clients and the class that I also coach. Training for us and the way we program, not only the way we program, but everything about training is just simply for us about a lot more than just getting a good workout. And I think we've outlined sort of three sort of sections that training can be split up into, and about why it's more than just a good workout. The first one is sort of movement and functionality. That is the first one, combined sort of into one. Second one, education, and the third one, experience. So what I'm going to do, talk through a little bit about what I mean behind each of those and the reason behind each of those, and why we think in terms of each of those, why training is about much more, and sort of why those three make it about much more than just lying on the floor in a puddle of sweat after a workout and getting a good workout. So the first one, movement and functionality. I think, like, fundamentally for CrossFit and for us in CrossFit, moving better is always a goal. We always want to move better, and the foundation of everything that we do is movement. So, like, being able to move better, be more functional through high intensity functional movements is sort of the ultimate aim from the training. But if you really dig into that and what that means and what we want to get out of being able to be more functional and to be able to move better, is that trying to live a healthier and healthier, fitter and stronger life is ultimately what we're trying to get out of training, and out of why we learn to move well, why we learn to move better, why we spend so much time going through technique and dialing that in and getting our midline right, and hips back and down, all this stuff, all the really good stuff, scapula's retracted and down, all this stuff is all to help us move better, help us be more functional, help us get in and out of the car much more easily, help us get up out of bed in the morning without that back pain. Like, training for health and fitness, and when you are training for health and fitness, it looks a little bit different when we're training for sport, specifically for sport or specifically to compete. But when we're training for health and fitness, for us, training should be about living a healthier life and allowing you to be able to live a healthier, fitter, stronger, better lifestyle. And yeah, just that example of being able to much better get in and out of the car is a super simple one. Just how many people do you know that get in the car and go, oh, my back, or get up out of the bed in the morning and they roll up, oh, pain in my back, pain in my legs, pain in my shoulder, whatever it is. Like, being able to move better and be able to function better, being stronger, being healthier, being fitter, is all just allowing you to live a better life and just live pain-free. Pain-free is a wonderful thing. Being pain-free, being able to bend down, pick something up off the floor, like, without any pain, pick up your bag, carry a box, whatever it is, moving house, carrying boxes, picking up your chair, moving your chair out of the way, whatever it is, just being able to move better, being more functional, being stronger, fitter, healthier, just all allows you to live a much better life. And I think a lot of the time when training is programmed in a certain way, and when people look at training, that people that are training for health and fitness, they sometimes can get too caught up in sort of the numbers and sort of really pushing to get a bigger squat, bigger this, bigger that, faster, all about that stuff, and sort of perhaps sometimes losing sight of why training, why you move well, and why it's important that, although, yeah, great, we can lift big weights, we can add 20 kilos to whatever and move this much quicker, great, you're getting fitter, again healthier, you're getting stronger. Movement sometimes can get left behind, and that's when movement gets left behind the numbers, that's when problems arise with injuries and with those kinds of things, and that's when training then sort of deviates from being about you being able to live a healthier life. Then training, sort of when you start picking up injuries, training starts becoming about managing those injuries while still allowing you to push, whereas what it should be is staying away, keeping those injuries off through a well-programmed training, and training that includes accessory work, training that includes assistance stuff specific to you that is relative to your injuries or previous injuries or something that you have a problem with. Or, you know, a lot of us spend a lot of time sat down in offices. People that come in and train, you work with clients that sit down in the office all day, and they come to you, they come to train with you, they got that hour for them to get, they go to work, sit down in the car. They've been lying down all night. They get up, they go to work, sit down in the car. They go to work, they get in, they sit down at their desk. They get up, they walk to the car, they drive to the gym, they're sat down. They get into the gym, and then they go in and deadlifting or snatching or rowing, whatever it is. There is a disconnect. There is a disconnect. You can't offset that much sitting down with an hour of training. It goes some way. It definitely goes some way. It's better than not doing any training. By no means does it go no way at all. But it definitely, there definitely needs to be behind the programming. Not say that there isn't, but there definitely needs to be a focus on helping people move better, helping them become more functional, helping them, and this sort of leads into the next part that I will get onto in a minute, which is education. By helping people learn about how they move, making them more conscious of their movement throughout the day, so that plus when they are sat at their desk, they sit in a much better posture, they sit more upright, they got their core braced, they got their shoulders back, they got everything set at the right height, their keyboard is at elbow height, their screen is up in front of them. That's just an example of someone that could be sat down all day, whether they change to a standing up desk with their keyboard at the right height for them, their mouse right near their screen, head height, things like that. And making people more conscious of their movement should be a very, very big focus of training. And with that said, it shouldn't all be about movement. Like I said, we are trying to get fitter, healthier, stronger. And when we are trying to get fitter, healthier, and stronger, there has to be times where you will need to max out. I think it's that also comes under sort of the third point, which is experience. But there is going to be times where we need to max out. We need to go hard. You need to get the experience of going hard. You need to lift heavy. You need to push hard. You need to row fast, assault bike very hard, whatever it is. There needs to be times when we do that as well. But when you are training for health and fitness, it should not be every single day. You shouldn't be going every single day at 95, 100% effort, because when that starts mounting up and you compile that on weeks, maybe even months, you will begin to break down, particularly people that are just training for health and fitness. They are just trying to stay healthier, stay fitter. When you are trying to go at 90, 95, 100% effort for long, prolonged periods every single session, you're going to break down very, very quickly, and that's something that we definitely want to avoid, because ultimately we're trying to make long-term changes, very long-term changes, and not flash in the pan, 3 months, break down, end up back further behind than where you are when you started. So yeah, that comes on. That leads us on to sort of the next part, the second point that I started with, education. For us in particular, this sort of relates particularly to what we do with our clients, and particularly to what we do with the class that I coach as well. Is education is a big part of training also. We try and educate our clients, sort of help them understand why we do things, why the programming looks the way it does, why their training currently looks the way it does, why for the next 6 weeks we might be concentrating on their hinging pattern, or that's specifically for individual clients, why the next 6 weeks might be looking at their aerobic system and going longer. Sort of helping them understand why we're doing certain things and why they need it, and why they should be doing these certain things, goes a very long way to creating buy-in from your clients as well. Creating buy-in with class individuals as well. people that come to our class, ensuring that they don't blindly follow instructions, because, you know, as a coach, for me, I don't like being the person that just stands there and shouts things at people and they just go and do it and they blindly follow the instructions. I like it when you get asked questions. You like it when people want to know why they're doing what they're doing. When clients are asking sort of, why are we doing that? Why does training look like this? Why does this and why and that? Helping them understand more about their training and then aside from training as well, not just helping them understand about training, but helping them understand why we do things, why we sleep, nutrition, why your nutrition looks a certain way, what effects your sleep and your nutrition and your training has on their life. Educating them on all that is going to not only help them create buy-in, but also help them make decisions for themselves, help them take control of their own life, and help them then make educated decisions on their own sort of thing, rather than being told, do this, do that, do this, do the other, whatever. It helps them make their own decisions, help them decide what works for them, what works, what doesn't work, what can work, what can't. Those sorts of things. It helps them much better understand everything and much better buy in to for what we're trying to do with them and what we're trying to help them get from their lifestyle. In particular, with the class clients, I put a lot of time into sending them educational material. So whether it is sort of a video of me explaining on a specific topic, whether it is sleep or nutrition or supplements or whatever it is, just like the last episode of the podcast, whatever it is, helping educate them gives them the tools to be able to become the best versions of themselves, rather than them just blindly following instructions, blindly following what is on the board, blindly following whatever you send their way. Educating them is huge part of what I believe in. Helps them make lasting and long-term changes. Like I said again, lasting and long-term changes are exactly what we want from clients, because we don't want a 3 months flash in the pan and then they end up back like broken down, burnt out, back to worse place than before, than when they started. So I think helping them understand and educating them on everything that we do, why training looks a certain way, why they sleep, why the programming, why certain movements, why not others, and all those kinds of things go a very, very long way to creating buy-in from clients and creating sort of a sense of trust. Because as a coach, you do have a lot of trust. You do have a big amount of trust that your clients place in you, because they've come to you with their problems, with their issues, and they come to you for you to fix them. Excuse me. They've come to you for you to fix their problems, so you do have a big responsibility to set them in the right direction and help them make those changes. So educating them is a great way to help them build buy-in, build buy-in with your clients, build buy-in with your class, whatever it is. And it is a great way to help the client themselves make educated and lasting changes to their lifestyle. Because like with the first part, ultimately, when you're training for health and fitness, the wider and broader aim is to help people live a healthier, live stronger, fitter, better lifestyle as a whole, through making lasting changes, habitual changes to what they currently do. So what I'm going to take a quick break, and then I will come back with the final piece, the third point that I made at the start, which is experience, which for me is making the client experience, their training experience, whatever it is, making that experience. There are several aspects to experience. I've got a lot written down in my notes here. Experience is a big topic. Come back to it after the break. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really do appreciate your time. So as a thank you for tuning in, we're offering you 1 month of fully individualized custom programming with full access to myself as your head coach, along with
access to a Fitbod account and full nutrition guidance as each of our individual clients gets. So to get involved, fire us an email at info@fortemtraining.com, include your name and what episode you saw this advert on, and I'll get right back at you to get you set up with your Fitbod account and to get you going on your first month of free programming.
Good, let's go. Welcome back. Part 2, episode 6. Quick break, got a drink. We're back for part 2. Certainly hope you are enjoying the podcast so far. Certainly enjoying making them. It's really good fun. Also, it does seem as though I live in the sunniest part of the entire world, because I think each podcast, aside from episode 1 and 2, have all been recorded outside. But that is not actually the case. I don't actually live in the sunniest part of the world. It just happens to be that during these past couple of days where these episodes have been recorded, I have been able to record them outside with a lovely sunny backdrop. So that is all. Yeah, that's for the benefit of the viewers. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also listen. As yet, I am still unsure as to where you can only listen to the podcast, because they haven't yet to be uploaded at the time of recording. If you are listening, wherever you are listening, these are available also over on YouTube, where you can get the video of these episodes in full, unedited, which is great fun. Very good fun. First time I've ever done anything that is unedited, which is because I'm doing the vlog, heavily edited, doing everything else also very heavily edited. So yeah, carrying on from where we finished with part 1. Experience was the final part that I want to talk about in relation to why training is about much more than getting a good workout. And the final part, number 3, experience. Experience is a big part of training, and having the experience of training, something that is specific to people that train in classes. Community is a big part of class training, and something that is less specific to ones that train one-on-one. But community is a big part of the experience of training, and the experience of having that community to train with and to train in, and then also to take that outside of the gym to whether it is going on a hike, going on a walk, climbing a mountain, doing a Tough Mudder event, whatever it is. Taking that community outside of the gym can only do great things for your gym, if you are coaching at a gym, for your class, for the community that your clients train in. Can only do very positive things for that. So yeah, then sort of aside from just the community stuff and something that is like class specific, some clients that haven't trained, perhaps clients that haven't done sports, clients that haven't got an extensive training history, sometimes don't know what it is like, or what it feels like to go hard or to give everything in a session, whether it is to max out a lift, whether it is to go hard on the row, or whatever it is. Some clients just don't have the have never been in that position with it, or know what it feels like to go hard or to go through sort of max effort, max lifts. So having that experience within classes or within sessions is a really nice experience, and it's something that I definitely think clients should go through. There are, like I did mention in the first part, that there are times where we need to max out. It doesn't have to be every single day. It shouldn't be every single day, but there are going to be times where there is value in the experience of going to max effort or going to 100% effort and collapsing on the floor and finishing there. A session that I've used with in various forms, in terms of various modes, whether it is on the rower, whether it is in certain movements. But a workout that I like to use, or a session that I like to use with clients, and something I picked up on, it was Kenny Kane on a Barbell Shrugged episode, and he used the example of a 500 meter row. So the session is a 500 meter row, 4 time. Rest, I think the rest was around like somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Then it was AMRAP as many meters as possible in the time that you completed the 500 meter row, then the same rest again. Then the part 3 was to row 4 times the number of meters that you got in part 2. So sort of a case of chasing your own tail, and the experience of that, of pushing yourself to that absolute maximum limit, is something that I think clients should experience, and something that you should experience when you are training for, even if you are training for health and fitness. It's important to have variance in your experiences of training. So having that experience of going to max effort and giving it absolutely everything and just collapsing out on the floor, I think is hugely important. And being in that pain cave and being able to having that experience of being in the pain cave and it hurting, but also knowing that it is making you better and you are improving. I think experience plays a big role in what training is. Although you may not realize it, it's something that sits in sort of the back of the mind. It's not something that sits in the forefront, like as programming does, or as sort of nutrition or sleep. All that sits sort of right in the front of the mind, but experience sort of sits in the back of the mind, and there is no replacement for the experience of being in those positions. Variance is another sort of aspect to experience that you can look at as an experience. So whether it is going long, whether it is doing a 90-minute workout, whether it is going short, a 3-minute workout, Fran, if you have to be very good to do that in 3 minutes, but that type of workout, something that is max effort, 3 minutes, something that's long and low, something that's 90 minutes long, something that is heavy, like a heavy DT, something like that, something that is light, something that is a body weight, Murph. Having the variance in the experience that you have in your training I think is hugely important when you are training for health and fitness. It not only keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting, keeps it sort of something new, challenging, and it's the challenge of the experience that you are in, particularly with that the 3-row workout that I mentioned, and I've used it in other forms as well. I've used it on like a 3 rounds for time of a couple of movements. Works really well for people to get the experience of chasing your own tail and really going after something and really sort of giving it max effort to try and beat yourself, really test yourself, and just getting into something that sometimes people tend to not have done. And like I said, perhaps someone that has a very young training age, someone that hasn't trained a whole lot in their life, someone that's never played sports, someone that has never been into sports, they come to you, they come to train with you, they go to a class, they go and train in a class, they have never had the experience of going to max effort, of going for a max lift, of giving it absolutely everything. They've never had that because their training age is very young. They've not really trained, they've not done sports, they don't have that experience of going into that dark place or being in that position. And I think training in some aspect should be about taking you to new places, taking you out of your comfort zone, as well as being in your comfort zone and doing all that stuff, doing all the great stuff and doing all the new skills that you've learned inside the new comfort zone. Going outside of that comfort zone is something that really challenges people, something that really takes them to new places, something that can really help them find something new, perhaps they didn't like before, something they now love, whether it is going hard on a workout. If you love doing that shit, great. But yeah, having the experience of going to that place and taking you outside of your comfort zone is something that definitely for us and for me should be a big part of training. I think that takes us to the end. Actually, that covers everything that we've got for this episode, everything that what we employ, what we use, and the sort of the 3 topics that we tend to take on. I tend to take training around when you are training for health and fitness. Number 1, movement and functionality. Training should be about helping you move better, helping you be more functional, help you get up and down the stairs, helping you get in and out of the car, all of that stuff. Training should be about, number 2, educating you, helping you learn about sleep, helping you learn about nutrition, why your programming looks that way, why your training looks that way, why we do this, why we do that, why we do the other, helping you make informed decisions to move your life in the right direction or move your life in a better direction than you are currently heading in. And then number 3, training should be about experience, it should be about enjoyment, it should be about having that community. If you do train in classes, if you do train on your own, getting people involved with your training, having that community, having the feeling of going to that dark place, taking yourself outside of that comfort zone is a big part of the experience of training and the experience you should get from your training. Thank you so much for listening. That is episode 6, done and dusted. If you do have any questions that you would like answered on the podcast, fire them through to at Fortem.Training on Instagram, or at Kieran Douglas Jones on Instagram. Slide in the DMs, or send us an email to info@fortemtraining.com, and we will get those answered right here on the podcast. Thanks for listening to episode 6. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. If you are listening, thank you so much for lending me your ear. You will see me and hear me again in episode 7. Thanks so much for listening.